Hello, television family. We're back. It is Tuesday, 25th day of November, 2025. I am Dan Kuntz. November 25th, Christmas, 1 month from today. If you're out and about, of course, over the Thanksgiving weekend, or as we get deeper and deeper into the holiday season, if you are so inclined to pick up a gift for me, I just have two simple rules for you potential gift givers. I like my presents big and expensive. Heads up on that. It's a short week for us. We'll be here tomorrow, Wednesday, doing a show. We're off on Thursday because it's a holiday, and of course, Friday is Barry Gordy Jr.'s birthday, the founder of Motown Records, and we always take that day off as well. 34 degrees, clear skies, big change in the weather coming. If you're taking Stevens Pass, you're going to get snowed on today. If you're taking any of the major mountain passes, you're going to get snowed on. Stevens is going to get the brunt of it. A little bit of snow on I-90 as well, Snoqualmie Pass. Blewett, not too bad. We could see some snow down here. Those details are coming up. A lot of news to get to. Not a lot of sports to get to, pretty quiet. But it is Tuesday, Hockey Talk with Austin Draude, the broadcasting voice of the Wenatchee Wild. He'll be in the bottom half of the hour to talk about the Wild. They took one on the chin on Saturday night. They lost to Kamloops in Kamloops 4-2, and now they have 4 straight home games. Starts tomorrow, and then they have a game. They have Thursday off, and they have a game on Friday and Saturday too. It's always good to talk about Austin, so we'll have Hockey Talk in the back half of the program because it's Tuesday, and that's what we do. It's 2 minutes after the hour. Next on the agenda are cameras. Around the valley, the Wenatchee Heights camera is zoomed out. PTZ is an acronym. That means we can pan, we can tilt, and we can zoom, and that is the Z part of it. We have it panned quite a ways back. And you can still see, if you look at the very top, oh, Malcolm's going to move the camera. You can see at the very top of Birch Mountain, or Badger Mountain, I should say, you can still see the burn scar from the big fires earlier this year. So good morning to the Wenatchee Valley proper. Rondo Rock. Hello, Rondo Rock. Hello, Lake Aniat. Those lights that you see is Rocky Reach Dam. Way off into the distance is the Wenatchee Valley. They've been making snow on Mission Ridge since they were legally allowed to do so, which I believe was the first day of the month. Normally, they try to open on Thanksgiving if they can. I have no word yet on whether they're going to be able to make that or not. Beautiful view from the Lake Wenatchee camera overlooking Lake Wenatchee. No tee times today at Cato Glen. They're not taking any because, well, there's snow and frost on the ground. Of course, the low clouds and the fog hanging over the lake proper. Dirty Face has a little bit of snow at the very top of it, kind of like my head. And the Omi Garden camera, one of my faves. Look at that, just beautiful. Again, Malcolm has that zoomed out quite a bit, looking basically directly over to the Wenatchee Cross on the other side. Good morning to Old Station. Good morning to Stamilt. Good morning to everybody on that side of the river. A beautiful view from our Omi Gardens camera. Let's talk about mountain passes. It's Tuesday. It's a heavy travel day. They have a winter weather advisory for Stevens Pass. Stevens Pass specifically. Winter weather advisory is the least of the three. They have advisories and warnings and watches. Advisory means you're going to have some winter driving conditions, but it's not going to be really bad. The winter weather advisory begins at 10 o'clock this morning for the passes, goes until 4 o'clock this afternoon. For Stevens Pass, 4 to 8 inches today, an additional 3 to 5 inches tonight, and then on Wednesday, it's going to switch over to rain as some warm air comes in and the snow level is going to go up above 5,000 feet. So for Stevens, 4 to 8 inches today, 3 to 5 inches tonight, and then it will start raining and melting, especially on Thursday. And for you folks taking Snoqualmie Pass, they're expecting, like Stevens, 4 to 8 inches during the day today, and then just a couple of inches tonight, and then it switches over to rain as well. So we've had worse driving conditions than this over the Thanksgiving holiday. It's nothing that we can't handle around here. On Tuesdays, we check in with the Climate Prediction Center to find out what next week is looking at. This starts us on Sunday, takes us through Thursday of next week. And if you live in the Dakotas, Minnesota, Kansas, Nebraska, far eastern Montana, get ready for some really cold weather. A polar vortex is going to slide down from the Arctic Circle and make a big chunk of the upper Midwest. Really, really cold. We're going to see temperatures slightly below normal starting on Sunday and going through Thursday of next week. And as you can see on the right-hand side of your screen, as far as precipitation is concerned, what we would normally get this time of the year as we transition almost from November to December. Wow, the year is flying past. From the National Weather Service, that way if you don't like the forecast, you can blame the government. And it comes to us from Colonial Vista Senior Living in Wenatchee. It's where comfort, care, and community come together. Rain, snow mix possible. We have an 80% chance of something coming down. The snow level is going to be about 1,800 feet. We'll top off at about 38 degrees. For the record, with all that sunshine yesterday, beautiful. We hit 49. On Monday, we'll be 11 degrees cooler than that, and the clouds will be thickening up and getting pretty low as the day progresses. Snow level goes up to 2,000 feet. We don't normally see that. Instead of the snow level going down in the overnight hours, it's actually going to go up. So that's why the passes are going to start getting some rain. We'll probably see some rain down here too. 33 for the overnight low. For Wednesday, gobble gobble eve, rain in the afternoon hours, lots of clouds, a high of about 40. Wednesday night, rain, an 80% of that, percent chance of that, 37 for the overnight low. For Thanksgiving Day proper, lots of clouds, lots of rain, and a high of 41. Good day to just huddle in, watch some football, eat some turkey, and scarf down those calories. And then we'll see temperatures just about normal with hit and miss sunshine. And again, we have a chance for some light dusting in the upper elevations around the Wenatchee Valley, but most of the snow for this incoming system is going to be up in the mountain passes. We're probably going to see some rain. You know what Mother Nature has in store for you. Up next is the news. You're watching the Tuesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
There's no place like home, because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories, and we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Call Alpine Air Heating and Cooling today. Your comfort is their priority.
Tour Moses Lake just a gas tank away. With its abundance of outdoor activities, Moses Lake is a great place to visit. From fishing and boating to exploring the city's attractions, there is no shortage of things to do. Whether you're enjoying any one of the variety of restaurants with the family or an adventure-filled day with friends, Moses Lake has something for everyone. Tour moseslake.com and start your adventure today.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. I've been helping people for nearly a decade understand their Medicare options. Medicare isn't a one-size-fits-all. I'll help you understand coverage options so you can feel confident in your Medicare decision. Let's find the right Medicare plan for you. Call me today or see me at my office in Wenatchee with easy parking and entrance.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
High clouds, 34 degrees. The clouds are going to get a little thicker, going to get a little lower. Some snow in the upper elevations, some rain down here in the Wenatchee Valley. No sunshine today, considerably cooler than we had. And we're going to see kind of a wintry mix off and on right through Thanksgiving before we dry out and warm up over the holiday weekend. 9 minutes after the hour, a deputy's efforts to stop a possibly impaired driver led to a police chase Sunday night in Chelan. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office says 37-year-old Charlie Suarez was seen speeding and driving erratically in the 800 block of West Manson Road at about 7:40 on Sunday night. The driver's sedan allegedly traveled up to 20 miles an hour faster than the posted speed limit to avoid being pulled over. Well, a deputy finally carried out a pit maneuver to stop the car. That happened at the roundabout at Golf Course Road and West Manson Road. Deputies say Suarez was aggressive. Once he got out of his car, he had to be subdued with a taser. He faces possible charges of DUI, fleeing police, and reckless driving. A 20-year-old man from Lacey, accused of shooting and killing 2 teenage boys in Lacey, was arrested last week right here in Wenatchee. Police arrested Traquan Wilson Mason on November 18th at a Wenatchee motel where he allegedly fled after murdering the 2 victims, ages 16 and 17, in a drive-by shooting 4 days earlier. Wenatchee Valley Police assisted officers from Lacey in taking Wilson Mason into custody. Authorities in Thurston County say the shooting may have been a case of mistaken identity, with Wilson Mason believing one of the victims had fired shots at his home last fall. A judge in Thurston County ordered the suspect held without bail. He's due to be arraigned there in Thurston County tomorrow, or today I should say, on charges including first-degree murder. An Oregon firefighter on the Lower Sugarloaf fire back in September has now been charged with involvement in 3 vehicle thefts, including the stolen Jeep, which he traveled to Wenatchee in. 30-year-old Jordan Perot of Eugene, he was charged Friday in Chelan County Superior Court with motor vehicle theft, possession of a stolen vehicle, and fleeing police. Sheriff's deputies say Perot first stole a Jeep after his own vehicle broke down in Goldendale, and he used it to travel with a fellow firefighter to the Sugarloaf base camp in Antioch. Well, when camp managers discovered the theft, they fired Perot and his passenger, 32-year-old Nicholas Weems Smart. The 2 of them then apparently hiked from Antioch to Wenatchee, where Perot allegedly stole a parked Acura sedan and then fled from police who tried to pull him over, eventually ditching the car in Dryden. Finally, Perot was accused of stealing a 3rd car in Leavenworth, which he used to drive home to Oregon. He allegedly admitted to all 3 thefts in an interview with deputies, and he agreed to return to Washington for trial. Weems Smart, by the way, pled guilty to his part in the crimes and has already served his 20 days in the Chelan County Jail. Judge Robert Jordan signed off on the warrant for Perot's arrest. A new group of doctors serving in Congress has taken U.S. health authorities to task. The Democratic Doctors Caucus is a group of 6 elected physicians headed by 8th District Congresswoman Kim Schreier. Well, last week, as you probably know, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention changed the language on its website at the direction of Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to promote the disproven claim that childhood vaccines can cause autism. A letter from the Doctors Caucus and 65 other Congress members on Friday condemned the change, calling it alarming and noting that scientific studies from all over the world have found no correlation between vaccines and autism spectrum disorders. It goes on to say, quote, "We demand that you correct CDC's website by removing vaccine misinformation and restore America's trust in our national public health agency." Closed quotation. City of Leavenworth has approved $175,000 in grant awards for 2026 through its Leavenworth Fund. The money comes from the city's general fund and the lodging tax fund and is dedicated to nonprofit organizations for activities and projects. The highest award allocated in the amount of $10,000 went to Wenatchee Valley's Treads Upper Wenatchee Sustainable Trails Planning Project. Other projects that earned the highest funding include the 2026 Cascade Celtic Festival. They're going to get $9,750. And the 12th West Bursafest, they got a little over $8,800. Overall, 38 of the 51 applicants got funding in amounts ranging from $560 to that $10,000 mark. Wenatchee Police Chief Edgar Reinfeld has been the chief of police in Wenatchee since July of last year, and since August of this year. He's also been serving as the interim city administrator for the city of Wenatchee after the departure of longtime leader Laura Gloria. Well, I had a chance to sit down with the chief because I was curious about what it's like to do 2 very, very important jobs. Here's what he told me.
So when Laura announced her departure, we met the remaining directors and the mayor and took her, she built us a great list of duties, really broke down, here's what I'm working on. And so we took that and we started breaking it up into slices. If it's relevant to public works, hey, Tom, it's going to be stuff that we're going to need you to spend some time and effort on. The items that were related to IT is, of course, Elizabeth's deal. Stuff that had to deal with parks and long-term acquisition stuff with parks is for Dave. The police stuff was, of course, mine. And thankfully, there weren't a bunch of new things I wasn't involved in already. I was already involved in the police stuff on our list, and we just broke it up that way. And the mayor took a significant portion of those onto himself as well as the guy who's responsible, not only by code, but by common sense. And so when I look at it, time went on, Laura separated, trying to figure out what to do. We put out our initial search without doing like a headhunter type national search, like did the low cost method. We advertised. We generated a significant number of applicants. And so the process has been for the department directors to get together and to check on those applicants, see what we think, try to determine who we want to pull forward for interviews and potentially hire. And there's been a very large pool of applicants come in, but we haven't had a group of them come forward as being like, this is the fully qualified experience base, everything else that we're looking for. We've had a very small number that we've decided we want to move forward and talk to. But after this has been going on for a little bit, Mayor Poyer came to me and said, hey, I think I'm going to have you be the interim city administrator. Some people may be happy about it, some may not be. We'll see how it goes. And then appointed and through council, approved by council to go forward, and not without a lot of discussion. That focus on multiple areas, it's something that I'm capable of, something I feel confident with most of the time, so long as I get some level of comfort with what I'm doing. But with that, as we continue to move forward, we'll try to find that right candidate, or try to find hopefully a small batch of the right candidates. And it might include revising what we're looking for a little bit.
When the right person comes, the right person comes. But there also come a time where everybody wearing all these little hats, regardless of the great department heads in the city, it becomes unsustainable.
Right, and
this can't go on forever.
No, the sustainability, we don't want to be doing this for a year.
No.
We don't want. I would love sometime in the first quarter of 26 to have a candidate that we're getting through our background and that we're putting them on would be great. But in the short term, that next 8 to 10 weeks, I'm fine continuing what I'm doing. I'm fine continuing what I'm doing as long as it's necessary to get us where we need to go. But the burdens do accumulate. It's the end of the year, so we're closing out a year. Then we're about to start a new one, and there's a lot of things to do, and some of them are going to get a little competitive with each other for time and resource.
How did your two captains, who each have administrative duties at the police department, who report directly to you as captains, did you go to them and say, now, you guys are going to be a little busier too, because I'm going to be heading up to City Hall more often?
The great thing is they're both fully dedicated to getting it done. In fact, our sergeants and even our corporals and even officers in some programs are also fully engaged. So when we find a program sometimes, it may not need to have been me ever from the start, or even a captain. We may start it with me and the captains, get it sorted out, assign it to a sergeant who's more than willing to take the assignment, is more than capable, and we go. We spread that decision-making authority at the lowest level possible in the department at all times, which is often not very low. Certain decisions by law are my problem and mine alone. But by doing that and by spreading that workload, we've actually tried to maintain some level of balance across the system. Sometimes it feels good, sometimes it doesn't, but it feels like it's working.
And finally, on this Friday, Kashmir High School's Riley Atchison. She is a student representative on the Washington State Board of Education. She's making rounds at local schools. She was selected by the board to join them as one of 2 student reps. Washington State is one of 6 states that actually allows students to vote on board decisions. While also attending regular meetings, Atchison is working on the Future Ready Committee. That's an initiative aimed at updating state graduation requirements. She's visited Cascade and Kashmir High Schools to visit with students about potential new policies, and she plans to visit schools in the area to gather more feedback. Her term began in August and will run until June of 2027. You're in the loop on this Tuesday, and if you want to keep staying in the loop, we recommend that you watch the news tonight. At 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock, the NCW Life Evening News. That's the traditional times on television, or as we like to say in the business, television. 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. That doesn't work into your schedule. YouTube, right around 5 o'clock. Our homepage, right around 5 o'clock. We'll put a link to our newscast on our Facebook page. If you have Roku, we're on that. If you have Amazon Fire, we're on that. If you have Apple TV, we're on that. If you have Netflix, we're not on that. And if you have an email and you have a news tip, what you do is you send us an email and we get it here, news at ncwlife.com. What little sports I was able to cobble together, I will send your way next. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Craving fresh Asian comfort food? Steam Panda is Wenatchee's popular, family-friendly Asian restaurant. They focus on providing guests with delicious, healthy, fresh, and natural dishes for an affordable price. Warm up with one of their many popular house-made soup dumplings, ramen noodles, or pho dishes. And make sure to ask about their lunch and chef specials on sushi rolls. Steam Panda's Hawaiian poke bowl and salads are excellent with your favorite boba tea. Stop by or order online at Steam Panda today.
News, weather, and sports. It's all here weekdays at 5, 6, and 10 on your local news source, the NCW Life channel.
When your heating or cooling system is giving you trouble, call the diagnostic doctor from Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning.
Here's the culprit right here.
All joking aside, when you call Dick's, you're calling 35 years of experience at customer service right here in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's strongly believes in repairing before replacing, and they service all major brands of HVAC units.
Hey, hon, would you run this around to the wash rack?
Oh, okay.
Hey, hon, what happened?
They shrunk the truck.
The all-new mid-size Canyon is now available at Sangster Motors.
Sports at 22 minutes after the hour. Good night for Gonzaga. Tyon Grant Foster and Graham Eke. They each poured in 21 points. Number 12 Gonzaga knocks off number 8 Alabama in Las Vegas. It's the Players Era Tournament in Vegas. The final was 95-85 last night. The game was close most of the night. I watched it. In fact, the Zags were up just a point with less than 5 minutes left, and then Gonzaga ran off an 11-point run. They took an 86-74 lead with 2:47 left, and they cruised from there. The Zags have won 6 games, all 6 of their victories double digits, and they move on to the next round of the tournament in Vegas. It will take on Maryland tonight at 6:30. If you have True TV, you can watch it. I don't. Cougars almost lost to a Division II team. Well, if you're going to lose, you might as well lose in Hawaii. Aaron Glass scored 17 of his 26 points in the second half. Cougars beat Division II member Chaminade 90-85 in Hawaii last night. Glass 8 for 15, 7 of 7 from the free throw line for the Cougars. Rahards Favors 25 points for the Cougars, also 6 rebounds. Chaminade led 52-41 at the half, but the Cougars outscored the Silver Swords 49-33 in the second half. Cougars will take on Arizona State tonight in the second round of the Southwest Maui Invitational. Tip-off on ESPN is at 5 o'clock. Just one game in women's college basketball. The number 22 ranked Washington Lady Huskies will play host to Southern. That's at 6 o'clock on Big 12 Plus. And can't forget about high school football. It is semifinal time. Win this weekend, and you're off to the state championships at Husky Stadium 1 week from Sunday. If you want to go, here are your games. In the 2B semifinals, Okanagan will be taking on Toledo. That game will be played in Tumwater at noon on Saturday. East Valley will be at Tumwater at 3 o'clock in the 2A semifinals. That's a doubleheader, as you might imagine. Leave off to field to the Apple Bowl here in Wenatchee, 3 o'clock kickoff on Saturday. Cashmere will take on Mount Baker. Cashmere, the number 2 seed, Mount Baker, the number 3 seed. And in Walla Walla, Elmira Cooley Heartline will take on DeSales at 3 o'clock on Saturday. Again, you win, you're playing for the state championship. And those are just some of the games that people are playing. Happy Independence Day in Bosnia and Herzegovina. It's your statehood day today. Congratulations to those folks. It's Shopping Reminder Day, which is always 1 month before Christmas. if you shop on Christmas, you probably blew it. But if you're bored with life and unimpressed with all things around you, today is your day. Today is Blasé Day. Today, and there's our old coworker. There's Uriah. We miss Uriah. He moved to Texas about a year and a half ago. Are you bored, disillusioned, apathetic, indifferent, jaded, laid back, lukewarm, mellow, mundane, offhand, unconcerned? Whatever. Hi, Uriah. How you doing? Today is for you. Today is Blasé Day. Reminds me of the old line. What is it with you, Dan? Is it ignorance or apathy? And I said, I don't know and I don't care. Today in history. November 25th, 1963. 3 people were buried on Monday, November 25th, 1963, 62 years ago today. The President of the United States, John F. Kennedy, Dallas police officer J.D. Tippit, and the man accused of killing both the president and Officer Tippit, Lee Harvey Oswald. For JFK, the autopsy on Friday night was then laid in state in the East Room of the White House. Of course, the East Room no longer exists. And then he was laid in state in the rotunda of the Capitol until 9 a.m. on Monday, November 25th, 1963. The funeral procession traveled from the Capitol to the White House, and the procession walked to St. Matthew's Cathedral for the funeral mass. There was no eulogy given for the President of the United States. The procession then resumed to Arlington National Cemetery for interment in Washington, D.C. In the meantime, services for J.D. Tippit. J.D. Tippit, his services were held at the Beckley Hills Baptist Church in Dallas, interment at the Laurel Land Memorial Park in Dallas. J.D. Tippit left behind a wife and 3 children. In January of 1964, a couple of months later, J.D. Tippit was posthumously awarded the Medal of Valor from the American Police Hall of Fame. He also received the Police Medal of Honor, the Police Cross, and the Citizens Traffic Commission Award of Heroism. Of course, the plight of J.D. Tippit's widow and family moved the country. $647,000 were sent in cash to the widow of J.D. Tippit. The largest single donation, $25,000, from Abraham Zapruder, the Dallas dress manufacturer who actually filmed the assassination and sold his film to Life magazine for $50,000. He gave half the money to the widow of J.D. Tippit. And Lee Harvey Oswald was buried the day after he was assassinated by Jack Ruby at Shannon Rose Hill Memorial Park in Fort Worth, Texas. The location and time of the funeral was supposed to be kept secret. The family did not want press there. The press found out. 30 or so reporters arrived. 6 of those reporters were asked to be pallbearers because there wasn't any. The only mourners who attended the funeral was Lee Harvey Oswald's widow, his 2 children, his mother, and his brother. The Lutheran minister who was supposed to officiate didn't show up. They found another who officiated the interment. Lee Harvey Oswald's original marker was stolen a few weeks later. His body was exhumed in October of 1981 because of rumors that he wasn't in there. He was in there. The remains were then reburied in a new coffin in October of 1981. And then in 2010, the Miller Funeral Home employed a Los Angeles firm to sell the original coffin that Lee Harvey Oswald was buried in. The problem is they didn't own it. Lee Harvey Oswald's brother Robert paid for the coffin. He was the legal owner. He sued the Miller Funeral Home and won a lot of money. Who would want to buy it? All of that on Monday, November 25th, 1963. Birthdays. Andrew Carnegie, who made a lot of money and then gave it all away. Of course, we have our Carnegie building right here. It's where the Apple Blossom headquarters is, about 2 blocks from where I'm sitting. Made a ton of money, in the American steel industry, became one of the richest Americans of all time. And then he said, if you're really wealthy, you're supposed to improve society, and I should give away my money. And so he did. During the last 18 years of Andrew Carnegie's life, he gave away a conservative estimate of about $350 million. But by today's standards, that's like $100 billion. He gave it away. They built schools, they built libraries, they built parks. Andrew Carnegie, who came up with the idea of, I'm so rich, I should just give it all away to people who need it. Born in the state in 1835. Joltin' Joe DiMaggio, the Yankee Clipper, born in San Francisco in the state in 1914. His 56-game hitting streak in 1941 still stands. 84 years later, not only is it still standing, nobody has even come close to hitting in 56 consecutive games. In 1969, for baseball centennial, he was voted baseball's greatest living player and one of the very few athletes in this country's history. You would think Muhammad Ali, Michael Jordan, Babe Ruth, whose sports fame transcended sports, and he became an international celebrity by becoming and being Joe DiMaggio. And John F. Kennedy Jr., born in the state in 1960. He would have been 65 years old today, the only child to be born to a president-elect. He was born 2 weeks after his dad was elected to the presidency. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. They are our platinum sponsors, and we're glad to have them on board. They're good, too. If you're going to have a platinum sponsor, might as well have somebody with the reputation of Alpine Air Heating and Cooling, and we are, and they did. Mike Benatti's got an opinion coming up, and then it's Tuesday, Hockey Talk with Austin Draude. They have a big weekend series starting tomorrow, the Wild do. Austin will join me live from Studio 9 when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
NCW Life Channel is your local TV station. We believe in being the spotlight and mirror to the communities we serve in North Central Washington. Programming on NCW Life would not be possible without our sponsors. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air.
Birthdays, office gatherings, and team parties taste better at Abby's. From our legendary lunch and Thirsty Thursday to our monthly giant special, there's always a reason to gather. Family-owned Abby's, your legendary pizza tradition. You asked, and it's back at Abby's. 2 legends, 1 pizza. Half pepperoni, half big Hawaiian. All delicious. It's mouthwatering, loaded with toppings, and happily feeds a family. Order at abbys.com before this legend disappears.
Whether you're a new homeowner or looking to update, Save Mart in Wenatchee has everything you need. From top-of-the-line appliances to comfy mattresses and stunning furniture that fits your style, they have it all under one roof. With great deals and expert customer service, you'll find the perfect pieces for your space and your budget. Save Mart, your local destination for quality appliances, mattresses, and furniture at prices you'll love.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNutty, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, the Epstein files. You know, it's pretty clear our current administration is doing everything possible it can to prevent the release of those files or to provide and create any diversion to distract our attention. You know, so what? You know, first of all, it's pretty clear that regardless of what is exposed about Trump or anybody in those files, Trump's sycophants are going to make up some excuse or justification, and they won't care what is said about him if he's in those files. And secondly, What Trump has already said and done about himself and what has been proven about him establishes that man as a sexual predator. Now, although I, like you, want the Epstein files released, it won't make a bit of difference. His followers have already proven that even if there is unchallengeable proof that Trump is a child sex offender, his followers will not care. Shaking my head. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Caught in a conflict? Family, workplace, neighbor, business, housing disputes? Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center provides mediation services, a cost-effective and efficient way to provide a written resolution to disputes and issues. Plus, we offer mediation training and community education on conflict resolution and communication skills. Contact us to learn more.
When flooding hit Serve Wenatchee, their office in Fresh Hope Market were devastated. But their mission to help prevent homelessness in this valley hasn't stopped, and neither will we. I'm Todd McLaughlin, General Manager at Apple Valley Honda. Now through the end of the year, we're donating $25 to Serve Wenatchee every time someone takes a test drive. And if you happen to buy a vehicle, we'll give an additional $100 in your name. Because when our neighbors are in need, this community steps up, and we're proud to be part of that.
You trust the same doctor for your health and the same dentist for your smile. Trust Global Car Care to keep your vehicle running strong. We track your car's history so it gets the right care at the right time. With our 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on parts and labor, you'll drive away with confidence. Global Car Care, your automotive experts. We service all makes and models, but specialize in Sprinter vans, Mercedes, Audi, Volkswagen, and BMW. Call or visit us today.
BC Outdoor Sport Fishing TV, Season 14. Join your host Mike Mitchell and his special guests as they explore some of the most exciting fisheries BC has to offer. BC Outdoors Sport Fishing TV. Check your listings for airtimes.
Tuesday in these parts means hockey talk. With Austin Draude, the broadcasting voice of the Wenatchee Wild, they played their 20th game of the year on Saturday. They went up north to take on the Blazers in Kamloops. Came out on the short end of the stick, 4-2 was the final there. Still, we're not scoring a great many goals lately, and that's been our biggest problem right now, and that was certainly the case on Saturday night. We're going to do what we always do, Austin. I'm going to ask you to use the monitor here in our studio to call the action. For you folks at home, please use your televisions.
Well, it's not that Wenatchee didn't get some great looks. The teams were even on shots all night long, 10 in the first for each, 10 in the second for each, 11 in the third for each. Kamloops stretching this one ahead, and Tobias Tversnick, we're going to talk about him as the segment goes on, but another fantastic save on the breakaway from Tversnick. More of the same until now. Takeaway at the blue line. Here, you take this. I'll just pick up the apple. You get the light. 1-0. Kamloops in the first period. On the power play, and Issa Gurram from the left wing faceoff circle hits the target, top corner, 2-0 at the break. Gurram lighting the lamp, which is down right at the top of the boards, but you might happen to spot it. Wild certainly spotted it, but not on this opportunity. Wenatchee still down 2-0 early in the second period. They're going to get some help out front, though. Maddox McHaggerty, chance from the right point. And Zane Saab sneaks it behind Blake Vanek.
Nice pass.
A pinball wizard. And Blake
nice
Vanek
pass.
Makes it a 2-1 game. I'm just going to throw this back there and hope and plan that you are going to be there. And that plan paid off for Zane Saab. 2-1 score. It would be the same going to the third period. And Tobias Tversnick making more outstanding saves for the Wild. A couple of big ones on this sequence. Bauer Dumansky, get away from my goaltender. Please and thank you. Let's keep the peace here. Maddox McHaggerty, chance from the left hash mark. That one's not going to go. And this one also not going to go. Evans picks up a couple more saves. Ivans Kufterins, 29 saves in the victory, and a couple big ones on that one. Early in the third period, and more from Kamloops. Chance on the left wing. More from Kamloops, but it's going to have to wait. Tobias Tversnik with the save of the game, a toe stop to make it a 2-1 game. Still, on the power play, Kamloops, not this time. Another save from Tobias Tversnik. I get by with a little help from my friends clearing the puck away, but eventually the Blazers are going to break through. Chance from the left point. Gurram has that one stopped. Wild trying to hustle this one out. More from Kamloops in the offensive end. They got a lot of offensive time at the start of the third period. Looking to make it pay off on the power play, and that time they do. Chance from the right wing faceoff dot. Cooper Moore rifles it home, and it's a 3-1 game. Wild do get one back, though, and this time it's Kalen Jodry out front from Lucas Sherbina. Just a little slip by. And this will make it a 3-2 game. Late Wild scoring 6-on-5, looking to do it again to tie the game up. But this one's going to keep on going the wrong way. Get it back. Don't let him have it. 4-2, the final. J.P. Hurlbert, 2 goals in the game and 2 assists for Nathan Bain. 2 of the top 3 scorers in the Western Hockey League, picking up double points in the game, and the Wild close, but not quite. 4-2 final.
Still struggling offensively. Defensively, not too bad. And as we mentioned before, Tobias, his statistics are remarkable. He's only played, the Wild have only played 20 games this year, which is one of the less. I think Seattle and the Thunderbirds and us are the only two.
There are a couple teams that have played fewer games, but we're right near the bottom.
Tobias has been between the pipes in 14 of those games. His save percentage is .917, but he's had to make 473 saves in just 14 games. The guy is really good.
He is. He's had a remarkable season so far. You saw the save that he made in the second period. That was among the better saves that he's made this year, which is pretty high up on the pretty good list to put together. But no, he's had some work to do this season, but he's kept us in a whole lot of games this year. You know, you talk about the numbers that he has. .917 is top 3 in the league in save percentage. His goals against average coming into the game against Kamloops, and it was better after the game because he didn't give up that, didn't get dinged for the empty netter. Only 13th in the league, but you look at the 12 guys above him, and only Joshua Ravensbergen from Prince George, who we'll likely see on Friday, has faced more shots than he has. Ravensbergen has played 1,000 minutes already this season, so he's faced a lot of work. He's been up to the task. The offense is trying to find ways to come through for him and get him a little bit of help here.
He's one of the more popular players in the team, and you know, just from the body language of the Wenatchee Wild, especially the front line, they feel bad of all the work this guy's got to do. They want to win some games for him.
They want to win some games for him, and they've got confidence in him when they're struggling. They're facing a good team. They're facing a frustrating defense like Kamloops was the other night, a team that blocks a ton of shots, gets a ton of sticks and bodies in the lanes on them. They know that when they're facing a frustrating team like Kamloops down below the blue line, they've got a goaltender that can give them a chance to win games anyway. They're doing their best, but they know they've got a goaltender that when the best isn't quite good enough, can still help them possibly make it good enough to pick up a couple points.
We've talked about this before. When your offense is struggling, as long as you're good defending your blue line, you're going to be in some games. And we were in the Kamloops game. We were in right to the very end.
Right into the very end. This was a 1-goal game going to the third period. A 1-goal game. It's been a while since we scored 6-on-5 in a game. This team has scored 6-on-4, 6-on-3, but it's taken a power play goal to get that chance with the extra attacker. It's been a while since the guys scored 6-on-5. Once they got that one, you could see a little bit more kick in their step that, okay, we got plenty of time. They got it with about 3 minutes left. Go out and do it again. Let's get this game tied up. And that frustrating Kamloops defense frustrated them again the last couple minutes.
20 games in the books, 48 to go. The Wild are 6-12, 1-1, 14 points. They're 12th in the Western Conference. They have a chance to move up this weekend. Let's talk about Wednesday night's contest against Vancouver. The Giants in town. Giants are just ahead of us. They have 20 points. They are 11th in the Western Conference. They've played, I think, 4 more games than we have. Vancouver coming to town 6 o'clock Wednesday. Talk about the Giants.
Yeah, the Giants, we played them once this season back up in Vancouver. They'll fortunately have one of their top players out of the lineup because Ryan Lynn, who I believe is the leading defensive scorer in the entire Western Hockey League right now, he's headed to the CHL USA Prospects Challenge up in Alberta this week. So he'll be out of the lineup tonight and tomorrow. He'll be back in their lineup on Friday when the Wild don't have to play him. But Cameron Schmidt at the top of their lineup, third-round draft pick for the Dallas Stars, had a monster last couple of years for him, and he's back again this year to lead the way. So had a couple of assists against the Wild up there, and he'll be called upon to lead the charge when they're down here tomorrow night.
And again, that's Thanksgiving Eve, and because it's Thanksgiving Eve, it's a 6 o'clock is when they're going to drop the puck, 6 o'clock. Is this the only Wednesday game we have this year, I think?
I believe there will be one other Wednesday game. I think it's coming up in January. But, yeah, there are not a lot on New Year's Eve, which will be a special time all on its own because New Year's Eve is a 5 o'clock start.
So, again, Vancouver's directly ahead of us in the standings in the Western Conference. Prince George, Cougars in town Friday, so they get Thanksgiving off Friday, 7 o'clock. The Cougars have 32 points. They are second in the Western. They're the only ones that within screamy distance of Everett right now. This victory on a Friday night would just do wonders for this team.
I think it would. And you take a look at what Prince George has been able to do over the last 10 games. They're 8-2 in those last 10, and we're one of the 2 after they came in here a few weeks ago. But they still have 3 of the top scorers in the league. Joshua Ravensbergen, who's in his 3rd year with the team. First-round NHL draft pick. He's been outstanding for them again this year. So we know what the task is against Prince George, and this team will have to be at its best to do what we did a few weeks ago and grab a win against them again. But a lot of scoring, great goaltending, #1 power play in the league, but a team that these guys have beaten before, and I'm sure they'll be drawn upon that again.
You mentioned the Vancouver Giants tomorrow night will be without their best player because he's off to do these camps. This happens this time of the year, doesn't it? There's a lot of flexibility in the rosters in the Western Hockey League because high draft picks are going off for a week or so to do special tournaments or things like that, and then they come back, right? That kind of goes through in about January.
It is, and actually, this is right about the time of the year where you see Boston Tate went to the World Hockey Challenge for the U17 players. He was gone for a couple weeks. They have some practices and camps before that to get the guys prepared to play and get them in a cohesive group. You look at the CHL USA Prospects Challenge. These are the top players in junior hockey in North America. The U18 team from the National Team Development Program here in the U.S. They'll go up against the guys from the best from the Canadian Hockey League circuits. And then you talk about World Juniors, which is coming up in the end of December, beginning of January. A lot of those guys leave second week of December to make it to camp.
And they're gone for like 3 weeks.
They're gone for some of them up to a month because they're looking to make the last cuts in their tryout camps and then make it onto the actual tournament, which will be in Minnesota this year. So this is this is prime time of the season for guys to step away, represent their country, represent their league in these tournaments. But number one, it leaves an opportunity for them to play against some really good competition. They get a step up in the pace and the play to bring back with them when they come back to their teams. But it allows some of the younger guys who are stepping in their place, who might end up in the back end of the lineup, normally might not be in the lineup, and they end up getting 3rd or 4th line time. This is a chance for them to make an impression and maybe put a bug in a GM or a coach's ear for future seasons, if not for later on this season, if a spot happens to open up. We've seen it with the Wild here lately. Injuries and the need for trades sometimes. Those pop up during the season, and sometimes when you have somebody, a depth player who stepped up before in your back pocket, that opportunity back in December could be a huge chance for them when January or February rolls around and their team needs that extra body.
Yeah, hey, I get ice time. Now I get a chance to show Coach Don and Bliss and everybody that I have what it takes to compete in this league.
Absolutely.
And then finally, a team we don't see too often, the Pats from Regina. They're in the Eastern Conference, so we see them once a year, if we see them at all. Saturday, 6 o'clock for Regina. They have 24 points. They are 8th in the East. Probably going into this game against the Pats, not really knowing a lot about them.
Not a ton, but they do bring in their top goaltender, who we do know a little something about, because it's Marek Schlenker, who played for the Portland Winterhawks the last season. We saw him a few times, so we'll see a familiar goaltender. We'll see some returning players from the road trip last season. A Regina team that is trying to get back into the playoff race after missing out last year out in the Eastern Conference. So they're like us. They're trying to make the climb and get back into the postseason. They've got a little bit of climbing to do and wrapping up their U.S. division swing. So maybe try to catch them with some heavy legs. It's worked for us a couple times. Try to do it again this week.
Yeah, it's in central Saskatchewan, right? So that's a long trip. This is the tail end of a long road trip for the Pats. Is this towards the end of one of their big trips of the year?
This will be the end of their road trip through the U.S. division. So they'll play all the other 5 teams and then play us on the way back. Usually that long road trip either has an away game somewhere else at one end, or maybe both ends of the trip. They're usually about a 7, maybe an 8-game trip. So they've probably played another game or will be getting back to play another game on the road before they get back to the Brandt Center to restart their home schedule.
What do you think? Think we can go? And by the way, there's one more game on December 2nd. We'll talk about that with Austin next week. Vancouver, Prince George, Regina. You think we can go 3-0, at least 2-1? What do you think? What's your gut tell you? You know better than I do.
They're 3 certainly winnable games against good teams. Games that the guys, if they can put some consistent efforts together, full 60-minute efforts, these are games that the guys can win. They've won games by putting 60-minute efforts together. Now the hope is to string those together. 60 minutes has been good for the guys in spurts. Getting 120, 180 minutes consecutively has been the battle right now. So this is a good week to do it.
And I like the fact that we play Wednesday, and then we get Thanksgiving off, and we have back-to-back games against teams that are making a long road trip. I certainly like our chances against Prince George because we have their number.
That certainly won't hurt, and we'll get a good turkey meal in, probably with the Billet families in between those games. I believe the guys will practice a little bit on Thursday, get a skate in, stay loose, maybe open up some space for the turkey and stuffing later on in the day. But they'll stay on the ice here pretty heavily this week.
White meat or dark meat?
Yes.
Yeah, Austin doesn't care. Promotions, Plum Perfect Wednesday, Cozies. Talk about the promotions. So we'll do one at a time.
Yeah, Wednesday is our koozie giveaway with Plum Perfect. It's our Wild Wednesday. So if you're wearing your Wild jersey, you have not bought your ticket to the game yet, wear the Wild jersey. Walk up to the box office window before the game on Wednesday night, and we've got a discounted ticket for our fans showing up wearing the Wild jerseys. We want to see some of the older stuff coming back as well, the retro stuff. We love that.
They're going to be wearing black, by the way, black jerseys on tomorrow night. Who makes that decision on what color? Because they got, I mean, the combinations of Wild jerseys are, I don't know how many. It's crazy. They got dozens of different combinations. Who makes a decision on what jersey you wear on any given night?
Well, the first half of the season, the guys wear their dark jerseys at home. And then the second half of the year, the teams switch. Some years it's white and then dark. And then this year is the other half of the rotation where we start the season wearing the dark jerseys, which for us happen to be the black jerseys. And then after Christmas, the guys will wear white at home.
I didn't know that. I thought that was kind of curious. Prince George Friday, what's going to be happening there promotions-wise?
Prince George Friday and on Saturday against Regina, similar promotions both nights. We're helping to kick off the NCW Community Toy Drive presented by Les Schwab. So Works is helping us put things on Friday night, and then Les Schwab jumps in as our presenting sponsor on Saturday. So essentially, bring your new unwrapped toy for the toy drive. Each person that donates a toy for the toy drive will grab a ticket voucher for a future game. It's also our Kids in Free nights on Friday and Saturday. Technoplex and Gisa making 100 free kids tickets available for anybody under 12 and under, or anybody under 13, so 12 and under. Those are good anywhere in the bowl, so stop out, get those free kids tickets this week, and bring the whole family out for a holiday game Friday or Saturday. Bring along the toys and grab a voucher for a future game too.
Vancouver Giants tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock, remember that. Thanksgiving off. Prince George Friday at 7 o'clock. Regina Saturday, 6 o'clock. They always do the early ones on Saturday, so you can go out and enjoy the crazy nightlife that is the Wenatchee Valley. Your plans on Thursday, my friend, before we cut you loose?
Not sure yet. We'll figure that out.
It will involve the consuming of large amounts of both white and dark meat.
Yes, it will.
I can guarantee you that. Austin Draude, ladies and gentlemen, the broadcasting voice of the Wenatchee Wild. We do not have a studio audience, but we do have a weather forecast. It's coming up. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
I'm Jen Mueller. Watch for my show, I Cook, You Measure on NCW Life. It's part cooking instruction, part entertainment, and all about connecting over food and wine with your favorite Northwest athletes.
Watch I Cook, You Measure with Jen Mueller Mondays at 1, Wednesdays at 2, Fridays at 11 a.m., and Saturday and Sundays at 10:30 p.m. right here on the NCW Life channel.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Hasn't warmed up at all. It was 34 degrees when this show started. The show was almost over, and it's still 34 degrees. Yesterday, with all that sunshine, we topped off at 49. Ain't going to see 49 for a while, but the first thing we want to talk about is the mountain passes on this Tuesday as we head into the holiday week. There is a winter weather advisory for the crest of the Cascades. It starts at 10 o'clock this morning, goes until 4 o'clock this afternoon. Now, for Stevens Pass today, they're going to get about 4 to 8 inches of snow during the daylight hours, and then an additional 3 to 5 inches tonight on Stevens Pass. If you want to wait until tomorrow, you're better off because it's going to rain for the most part on Stevens Pass. Snoqualmie, same deal, 4 to 8 inches during the day today, but they're only going to get an additional inch or so on I-90 after the sun goes down tonight, and then it is going to change the rain because we have a cold front coming in now. There's 2 frontal waves. First one's a cold front that's coming in today. Second one's a warm front that comes in overnight tonight into tomorrow. One of those weird weather phenomenons. Tonight, the snow level is going to go up instead of going down, which is usually not the case. So let's do it. From the National Weather Service, rain and snow today. Now, the snow level is going to be about 1,800 feet below that rain. At the 1,800-foot level, a rain-snow mix. Above that, some light snow for the valley. Again, the mountain passes are going to get a lot of snow, except for Blewett. Blewett's really not going to get too much snow. 38 is all we're going to get to, so it's going to be 11 degrees cooler than it was yesterday. A rain-snow mix tonight. The snow level goes up to 2,000 feet, 33 for the overnight low. For Wednesday, rain, mostly in the afternoon hours. We'll top off at 40 for Wednesday night rain, 37 for the overnight low, and then for Thanksgiving Day proper, gobble, 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 gobble. rain and clouds, and a high of 41. White meat, dark meat don't matter to me. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.